All right, so you want to actually like do stuff with your query selector. So like we were able to target things with some clear precision, but now we want to actually be able to manipulate these elements to like look different. So one of the main things you'll be doing is manipulating the CSS of element or elements on the page to give them different colors or to hide or show them, depending. So let's work with classes first. All right, so I've got my header right here. So let header equal document.querySelector h1 on line 6. That will grab the HTML element that represents what we see there. All right, and then I'm able to go ahead and manipulate it. So header, okay, dot. Now I want to add a class to the header, which is pretty common. So for example, I may have a class called, let's say, added style, or let's say like highlighted. I like highlighted better. Okay, so let's say like for some reason you want to like highlight certain things on the page under certain conditions. Well, we'll make them pink. Notice how none of the elements on the page have this highlighted class, so nothing's pink on the page, which makes sense. So I would like to highlight the header using JavaScript. Fine. I'm going to do header, okay, dot, and then this way we'll be able to access the class with the property class list. Okay, all your elements have a property called class list, which is an array, okay, which contains your list of classes. All right, so you've got stuff. So we're going to add to our class list, and then we're going to name our class highlight. Okay, highlighted, excuse me. There we go. And notice it's pink now. All right, so we took that header, and then we added the class highlighted, and then it applied the CSS. The class has background color pink, and so now it's pink. All right, so if you'd like to add a class to more than one thing, all right, that is perfectly fine. So let's take on line 4. Let example class tag equal document.querySelectorAll. Remember, querySelectorAll returns an array of things, not one thing, multiple things, an array of elements. Okay, I want everything on the page that has the class example class. So obviously you cannot use class list with the array. Class list exists on nodes. Okay, HTML heading element. If you hover over things, they'll tell you what it is, like with TypeScript. But basically, which we have not gotten into just yet, so you don't have to worry your head about that right now. But the main thing is that this is a singular element. Singular elements have class list. Arrays, okay, or lists of things do not. So in order to work with multiple elements, we're going to have to loop through them, and that's easy. So I can do for let tag of example class tag in this case. All right, remember, this is just a variable I made. It could be whatever I want it to be. It could be bagpipes. Okay, it will work exactly the same. JavaScript does not know what you're doing. Okay, it just says this is the variable name and this is its like value. It has no clue what you're doing. All right, it's not going to be able to smartly figure out what you're doing or anything like that. So if you want to call this variable bagpipes, it will work the same as if you called it tag. The reason I call it tag is because that makes the most sense in this specific case. Alrighty, so we're going to loop through all of the elements that have the class example class, and I'm going to apply this class to them. So I'm going to do tag dot class list dot add highlighted. Bam. Okay, both of these elements, okay, had the class example class. Now I've added a class to it, highlighted, and now they have a background of pink. Okay, so now you can apply CSS to a singular element, and you can use a for loop to apply CSS to multiple elements. All right, this class list is great. Now, if you want to remove a class, okay, so for example, I want to remove highlighted from the header. Okay, I can do header dot class list dot remove, okay, highlighted, and then we'll get rid of it. Bam. All right, so you can add classes and you can remove classes. So you might be thinking, well, Jonathan, when might I do this? There's a gajillion different situations where this will be really useful. Like, for example, picture you had a to-do app, and it said, hey, I'd like to mark off in green the things I've completed and mark off in red or orange the things that I haven't gotten done yet or are late. Okay, so you might need to show different colors for different things under different circumstances. So that's why we're learning all this, because it allows you to do that. HTML by itself is just going to sit there like a rock and stare you at the face. Like, it's not going to do anything. We need the Document Object Model API and a programming language like JavaScript, but it doesn't have to be JavaScript. But that's what we're learning. So we need these things in order to give the website some interactivity so that it changes based on circumstances. Otherwise, like I said, HTML is just going to sit there and stare at you blankly. We need to actually make it do something. So now we're able to add classes, okay, and then remove classes. You can also work with the style of an element. So let's say, for example, I wanted to just like hide this header for whatever reason. I just want this header gone, all right? Well, I can work with the style of the header with header.style, okay, and then we've got a bunch of styles. Animations, background images, border blocks, I will be completely honest, I don't know all of these. There are so many, like, I do not know all of them. I know the ones that I use the most, okay, and my recommendation to you is do not feel you need to memorize them, because that ain't happening. Okay, over time you will learn the useful ones. Get used to looking them up. So in this case, if I want to hide something though, the one I would like learn is display. Okay, display none will get rid of the thing. See how that header on the right is gone? Get rid of this code. See how now you see it? Now you don't. Okay, it's gone. Okay, it is not displayed in the DOM anymore. It is gone. Whereas it is now back. Okay, if you'd like to show something again, you can do display block. All right, that'll be a good way to like hide things or show things based on different circumstances. Your lab is going to have you do that. Your lab is going to have you show things and hide things. And that's a pretty common thing to do in a web page. All right, so you can use the style display to do that. And with this style property, there's a bunch of styles you can change, and you can do whatever the heck you want. That's how powerful the Document Object Model API is we have full control over the CSS, the like display, and we can do all these sorts of things dynamically because a programming language like JavaScript gives us conditionals, it gives us for loops, it gives us logic. And then the Document Object Model API gives us access to our page. So with these two things combined, we can do just about whatever we want with our website. Okay, like, you know, carousels and welcoming the customer based on their name, and like highlighting to-do items that they're completed, and all sorts of stuff, right? Like the options are limitless. But once you get the idea of I'm targeting a single element or a group of elements and I'm going to do something with them, if that's what you got out of this, if that's what you understand, that's good enough.